Welcome back. This is Georgia Living Podcast. I'm Céline Evans.
And I'm Chris Evans.
And welcome. So, 2 weeks in a row that we've had cold weather.
We've had real cold weather. And, you know, here in Marietta, we didn't get the brunt of it.
No.
So big warnings and lots of preparation, but ended up no snow.
No. So last week, and of course it's the weekend, right? It's not going to be during the week. So that's a good thing if you're an adult. If you're not, then that stunk. Because it was
all
during
of our
the
kids
weekend.
were so disappointed. They were heartbroken.
They really were.
They got so excited when, like, late in the afternoon, we got a few, like, flurries, but nothing really stuck to the ground.
Yeah, Scarlett couldn't even sleep the first week.
Yeah, the first time she couldn't sleep, and then nothing happened. And then the second time she slept.
Yeah, so we've talked about the first time. Now, the second time was a little bit of a surprise to me because everyone was focused on the first time, the first weekend.
Yeah.
That 7 days later, they're still reliving that, right? And the ice and how it happened. And then all of a sudden, the weather's saying, oh my gosh, there's a huge bomb cyclone.
Yeah. So huge shout out to all of our friends up in like Dawsonville and Dahlonega. And, you know, I know Dan was sending me photos. He was supposed to go to the monster truck event in the city with our business partner, Reed.
Was he?
He was supposed to go, yeah, but they already had like 3 inches of snow on the ground by the time they were supposed to leave. And, you know, our friends in Canton, they didn't get anything. They were like us because it went to both the east of us and the west of us. And Marietta was this little sliver, like Canton, Woodstock, Marietta going straight down in a line, nothing.
Yeah. So if you think about a hurricane and that eye and all those clouds spinning around it, you get bands where it's kind of on the outside edge. Well, we were in between 2 of those bands.
We were like right on the edge of the front. So
to the west and the east, they got dumped snow. We got nothing.
Which I'm not really complaining about because
I'm not either. I'm really not.
Saturday night, got to go to a friend's birthday party, had a lot of fun, met some great people.
Yep.
And that was accessible. Like there were lots of people in Georgia that were stuck in their home and couldn't go anywhere, but basically all of Cobb County was clear roads. And huge shout out to everybody who put a lot of work in getting ready for it. You know, over here we're not dealing with a lot of issues, but again, you know, huge thoughts and prayers to everybody who just had to deal with it up in the mountains in North Georgia, and they just got rid of the ice, got out of the house for the first time, and then boom, got hit again. Well, at least you get a little winter wonderland.
All us Southerners dealing with snow. We don't know what to do. What is this? Freezing rain?
You know, this morning I was talking to Claire. Our youngest asked me, she goes, about cold weather and snow and being like closed in. Because I told her, I said, well, you've never been to Alaska in the winter. And she goes, I don't want to. I'll be stuck inside all winter. I said, honey, people in places where it snows often live their life through the snow. Like they go out, they just wear warm clothing.
We play in it.
She could not wrap her head around that.
What, really?
She couldn't. She was like, what? People go out and do things? I'm like, yeah. You know, because in cities where they have snow, those states invest in things to keep the roads running through the snow.
Oh, so she thinks that business shuts down every single time it snows
everywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah. She did. She doesn't now.
Bless her heart. She is the cutest little Southern girl.
She is. We got to get the kids out to Alaska while it's snowing there so that they can kind of see that.
This is like me liking the snow on the side of the street, and you said, no.
Yeah, we don't play with the plowed snow.
I got really excited, okay? I mean, I'm from Georgia. So.
There's snow etiquette. Snetiquette that you learn when you're growing up there, and one is
don't lick the dirty snow.
Well, no, rule number 1 is don't eat the yellow snow. Number 2 is don't play with the dirty snow.
Well, I didn't say that because I wouldn't do that anyways.
Yeah, but there was a whole song. Like Frank Zappa did a song on that called "Don't Eat the Yellow Snow" because that was played to me as a kid over and over again.
I'm sorry.
Well, when you have snow and dogs, it's kind of fun as a kid, especially as me because I was an outdoor kid. Like, I was wild. Give me a stick and a magnifying glass, and I'm just going to light anthills on fire all day. We've got a lot happening in the local news here.
Still thinking about your sticks and lighting.
Are you?
You're like that Toy Story kid, Sid.
No.
The one that beheads the Barbies and, it looks like Cynthia from Rugrats.
Well, yes, I did that.
That doll, the poor doll.
But I wasn't as demonic as Sid was. Well, there was a whole thing where I terrorized our cat for a little while, but maybe a little bit. Okay.
Okay, you were very young.
So we've got a lot going on in the news here in Marietta, and I want to bring something to your attention because you didn't read this article that I sent you the other day.
No, sometimes you send me a few too many text messages and it slips through the cracks.
A few too many? What? It was the only text I sent you all day yesterday.
I didn't look at it.
All right. Well, here's the deal. If you're in East Cobb, if you've been in East Cobb, then you've probably driven by this property. There is a modern build.
Okay.
It took forever to build.
Where is it?
It is over I forget the road. It's kind of in the Robinson Road area.
Okay.
And
so this is Wheeler High School District?
It's either Wheeler or Walton.
Okay.
This is a property that was kind of years in construction, just made its way into the news because, and I quote, this is the article, the repair punch list for a newly built home was hundreds of items, so extensive that licensed builder, or a licensed builder, not the licensed builder, has a blunt assessment, which is it is actually really sad for the home builders, but I call it a $2.2 million teardown. It is a modern, new construction home, and this home has over $1 million of repair that's necessary for it. The family needed a modern home because they have an autistic son, and that can only sleep comfortable in open spaces. So they needed an open space home. In the previous home, the son was sleeping in the garage to have such an open space. And the problems with this home involve everything from leaking doors and windows to hallways and staircases that weren't even built to code. This is going to be a big litigation to follow.
Okay.
Because not only did the builder build this house, leaving the owners with over $1 million in repairs. It's a $2.2 million house. There's $1.6 million in damage. Mm-hmm. And they, but the question I have for this is, how did it get past Cobb County zoning? How did it get past code compliance with Cobb County? Because they were issued a certificate of occupancy.
Okay, here back up.
Yeah.
Back up. So, from what I'm understanding, from what you've explained to me, is that there is a house that was already built off of Robinson with a special needs child that needs open space. So, they tore it down to rebuild it?
The house is still there.
Okay, so the house is still there, and then they had an extensive punch list.
Yeah.
That amounted to $1.6 million?
Let's see. So, going through this, the problems with this house start with the roof and continue all the way to the foundation, said Code Certified Building Inspector Mark Cordell.
So they're trying to change a traditional house into a modern...
No, this was a new construction build.
Oh.
It was a modern house build.
Okay.
New construction from the ground up. They built this house. It was a $2.2 million house, if I'm reading this right. But the build quality was so poor that there are staircases that are not built to code, yet it passed code.
Yeah, or else they wouldn't get a certificate.
They were issued a certificate of occupancy, so one does exist.
Mm-hmm. You should explain what a certificate of occupancy is, though.
Sure. So if you've never built a new construction home, when you go through the permitting process, you take out the permits to build a house. Through the construction process, there are different phases where the county actually has to go in and inspect and sign off on the permit that it was inspected and passed before it can move on to the next phase.
And they have eyes, so if you're the neighbor and you're not in code, they can see you too. So
yeah, so
it's happened.
when this happens, there's an inspection for the foundation, there's a framing inspection, there's a plumbing, electrical inspection, there's all of these different inspections that happen. And the final inspection, once everything is done, and all of the items have been addressed by the builder, the county will issue a certificate of occupancy. Now, if this is a renovation, they issue a certificate of completion. So if the house was previously built and they tore it down or took it down to studs and then rebuilt it, it's a certificate of completion. Certificate of occupancy is issued once the house is built for the first time, new foundation. So the article goes on, and this is it's on WSB TV. So WSBTV.com. We'll put a link to the news article in the show notes, so if you want to go and read about this.
So the big point is that how did it go through these checkpoints? That's
my big thing. Now, the builder apparently kind of sucks here.
Okay.
All right. So this isn't the only issue the developer has had.
According to
this article.
We don't know that.
So the article continues. We have life safety issues here. We have structural issues. The front door to the house would not even shut, Metapati says. And the Metapati says the developer's response was, quote, they were like, oh, Cobb County is a safe place. The Metapatis sued the developer, Mods of East Cobb, and its owners, Jay and Candace Crawford. They won a $1.6 million judgment in Fulton County, but have not received any of the money. He doesn't know how to build a home. He doesn't know the basic things, Metapati said about Crawford. The Metapatis are not the only ones to take legal action against Jay and Candace Crawford, alleging poor construction of their homes. A Sandy Springs couple won a $715,000 judgment against the Crawfords for problems with their home. A paralyzed Cobb County man is suing for $860,000. And along with a list of alleged construction defects similar to the Metapatis, he also says he cannot physically access most of his home that he had built to be handicapped accessible.
Ooh.
His lawsuit claims the Crawfords never completed his elevator. Jay Crawford has more than 100,000 followers on Instagram where he shows off his modern home constructions. He does not have a contractor's license. He works under the licenses of others. I call that license running, said the Metapati's attorney, David Merbin. Now you have an unlicensed contractor obtaining a building permit, he continued. Channel 2 Action News Investigates tried for weeks to talk to Jay and Candace Crawford. We sent multiple emails to more than a dozen email addresses. We called, texted, and even stopped by their current construction projects in Southwest Atlanta and their own Cobb County modern mansion. We received no response except for an Instagram that appears directed at Channel 2 Action News. Crawford wrote, quote, F you and them. I don't care how the story gets told, end quote. Right after that post, Crawford blocked Gray on Instagram. There are also big questions for Cobb County. This is my question. How Cobb would have issued a CO is beyond imagination, structural engineer Lauren Wayne says.
Yeah, because you went to Cobb 101, and that process is pretty tight. I mean, they run a good ship. Yeah.
Quote, I would have put a stop work order on it because of the significance of the issues that are present and readily visible, Mark Cordell said. He worked for several years inspecting properties and issuing certificates of occupancy in neighboring Fulton County. Our open records request did turn up multiple violations Cobb inspectors cited throughout construction. The things that had been pointed out had not been corrected, Cordell said. But Cobb County officials refused to answer any of our questions about how the home got a certificate of occupancy. Whoever did that was an unpardonable sin, in my opinion, when it comes to code enforcement, Cordell said. Cobb County is not... a Cobb County spokesman said they couldn't respond because it involves litigation and potential further litigation. So this is going to be interesting to follow and see what comes here, because for this to pass through and get a CO, that means that there is a fundamental problem somewhere that has to be fixed, and this lawsuit is going to find that, and this is going to get fixed.
Well, there are two problems here, right? First, you've got the builder problems, which caused all these, and it sounds like there's quite a bit coming out of the woodwork for this, with official litigation that's happened in the courts and ongoing right now. So, not giving my opinion, but just the facts there that they exist, multiple.
Yeah.
But then the second one is the question of how did so many of these get to this point, right? It's not just Cobb County because it's all different types of counties here. And I don't think this is unique to our Metro Atlanta area. You know, people are people and they're going to do things like this anywhere. It really brings to light the fact that you need a good network. You need to know these people, if not personally, through somebody who has met them personally. They're established, they're licensed, that you trust. Because, yes, you can go and anyone can slap up a website, right? Mm-hmm. And they can claim all these things. But unless they prove it to you through actual numbers, like, hey, you know, you've been licensed for this many years, you've actually done this much in sales. That's actually proof that you are in the industry, you know? Just because you have a license or a website doesn't mean that you can get that job done in any industry.
I think a key takeaway here for everybody listening, when you're following this, the key takeaway is even if you're buying new construction, you're buying from a builder, you need an experienced agent in your corner, because I guarantee you, if we go through and we see inspections when we're doing new construction, and we hire our own inspectors to make sure that we're seeing everything, because sometimes our inspectors will point out things that code enforcement doesn't point out. Right. And when we bring to the attention of a builder something we found in our home inspection, not everything in the inspection has to be addressed, but if it is code related, the builder has to address that.
Yeah, because they're legally obligated.
Because it's code.
Yes.
And if they don't, we just call Cobb and we say, hey, Cobb, this is code.
Now, that's not the same as a build that was built, 15 years ago when that code didn't exist.
Yes. No,
we're not talking about that.
I'm talking about when a new construction is built. So typically as a buyer, you're putting the contract together before the house exists. Sometimes you can buy a spec house where the builder's completed it or completed most of it. But in something like this where you're doing a custom build, you're building the contract and the plans to the house, but nothing exists. So you have to if it's me and I'm building the new construction, I'm doing 3 inspections. I'm doing an inspection of the foundation and the pour. I'm doing an inspection of the framing and the electrical and kind of the rough out is what we call it.
You can't see it once the drywall's up.
Yep. And then I'm doing my 3rd inspection, which is the inspector goes back. It's costly to do a new construction inspection. And many times when you're in the new construction world as a buyer, you don't get to do those first too, because a lot of the time they have the house foundation poured, the framing up, and the drywall up before they start marketing the house for sale.
Well, another thing that I've noticed with new construction, and this might be a side story, but I think it's very important as well, is that a lot of people think that they don't need agents with new construction. That could be further from the truth, because especially these types of cases that are coming up, you don't know everything. And agents don't either, but we know how to get the answers to what you need to know.
And we know how to recognize when something needs further investigation.
Yeah, and just because it's new does not mean that it's done right. I mean, it's cleaner, it's newer materials, it's not as dirty, but doesn't mean that it actually got put together correctly just because it's clean. No.
I've had so many meetings with home inspectors where we're meeting with them and the buyer towards the end of the inspection. We're sitting down and going through things. And home inspectors time and time again will say, you know what, oftentimes we find more issues with new construction homes than we do with lived-in homes.
Yeah, and I think that there's a little bit of a trust too, because there's that fallacy of you don't need an agent to get a new build because it's new and there's no problem.
You're just going to sign the builder's contract anyway.
But I feel like some builders do take advantage of that. And I'm not calling out names or anything, but it feels like they know that they can get away with a little bit more since... I take that back. I have worked with plenty of savvy people who have bought new construction. Plenty. No problems. But there's always that one person that needs just a little bit extra, hand-holding. that you're like, you shouldn't be doing this alone. When they're buying that new construction, I worry because I'm like, what
That's
are they
80% of people. It's the Pareto principle. 80% of people don't know what to look for. It seems like a pretty straightforward process because you're going, oh, let me sign the builder's contract. Great, this is what I want. But then throughout that whole process, who's advocating for you?
Right.
Who's making sure that the builder is doing what the builder's supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
A lot of people think real estate agents, our job is just to help them find the house, but that's further from the truth. That's like the basic. Like we're just holding hands strolling down the road when we're doing that.
That's where we start.
That's the start.
Yeah.
And really, a lot of the work for that is on the buyers themselves because they're the ones flipping through all the properties. I mean, we're looking for opportunities for them that aren't on the MLS within their search parameters. So if we have a new listing coming up, we're keeping eyes out for that. We're looking at the coming soons and the listings that they can't see. But the buyers are choosing it. And then they're like, hey, we see one finally. Let's go look at it. Great.
Yeah, and we do have a few really reputable builders around the Metro Atlanta area, some national, some not national, some just very local. So those are groups that we know as well and that we have interacted with. So it's definitely worth your time to contact one of us and say, hey, what do I need to do? I'm eyeing this new build maybe in a year or two. Can you help guide me through this? Because, just one pitfall and you are thousands of dollars, out of the pocket because you just didn't know to ask or something like that. There's so much that can go on.
I think builders are like real estate agents, right? Because we kind of about 5 years ago, we and a couple of partners went through the process of starting a development company. And we went through this. We learned the industry. We kind of figured out how the builds work. And it is very easy for a builder to, put a project into an LLC. And if that LLC fails or the builder's subs do something and it litigates, the LLC's folded. So it's hard to go after or find these people even. So when you're going through a new build, oftentimes you have to advocate heavily for your clients or yourself if you're not represented. And there are times where if the property is not done, you shouldn't close on the house. So I'm reading this article and I'm reading this that says the elevator wasn't finished. If that were my client, we would not have closed on that house.
Maybe he already did live there and was looking for an elevator.
This is a builder. It was a lawsuit over $860,000, I think.
These are all new builds.
This was new build. The house was built specifically to be handicap accessible, and the elevator wasn't finished, so he didn't have access to the whole other floor of his house. That is something that if I were an agent involved in, I would have stopped the closing.
That's a problem.
Right? We don't buy before it's done.
You have a level of your house you can just look at.
Yeah. In anything, you don't pay 100% before it is 100% done. Because when you pay a contractor and then the work is done, they have no incentive to finish that job.
Well, so, okay, another side topic here, but a little bit tied into this because we've had cold weather and it has to do with homes.
Yes.
I have always wondered, and I don't know if you can answer this, but when they're building these and they don't have an owner yet, right? So they're like baby houses, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not completely done. Anyways, they can be at all different stages, right? But they've got pipes. We've been dripping our pipes and doing things to prevent breaking and bursting. Like we opened our attic and made sure that all the hot air, went up.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of coated that atmosphere with warmer air. But what do you do in this case?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the headlines around Metro Atlanta is that with these cold snaps, we've had a lot of pipes bursting around Atlanta. Now, this always happens, and every once in a while,
because we don't get the memo.
Yeah, every year, it's going to get cold, and vacant properties are usually the biggest target of this, but you've got commercial properties too, and we've been a commercial property owner for 5 years now. Just this year, it was brought to my attention, hey, I have a fire suppression system in the attic that is not heated and cooled. And that could burst at any moment. So we now open up the drop-down attic stairs in the office, which go up into the attic where the suppression system is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you don't have a sprinkler system in your home usually. But...
Well, newer construction does.
Really?
New construction homes have fire suppression systems in them.
Is that a new thing, like code?
In the garage system. A lot of them have it. It's not, I don't know the code requirements. I don't have to stay up to date on that.
Sure.
But a lot of neighborhoods have it. I think the code is based off of proximity. Like if townhomes have to have it now, I think. Because if one catches on fire, it'll mitigate damage to the others.
Sure.
But I've seen single family homes built and they have fire suppression systems in the garage, not necessarily throughout the whole house.
Well, a lot of fires happen in the garage.
Yeah. It's not a system that's to the kind of advanced stages that we have in the commercial building, because this is inspected annually by,
I'm sure you could if you wanted to, yeah. But, like I said, it's a shock to me. I feel like I'm living in a cave with all these code improvements and everything. And gosh.
Well, you work on the listing side, so a lot of everything's already built by the time that you get involved for the most part. I mean, you have a handful of new constructions, but those are builders and they're usually listing just through you.
I am such a sucker for the opposite of modern builds, though. I am too. Such a sucker for the nice newel posts that are carved and beautiful, intricate designs. And I love the classic look of a house. Like ours is a modified salt shaker.
Salt box.
Salt shaker.
Salt box.
Salt box. Which, salt used to be kept in a box by the fireplace. The big kind with the bread maker.
Our house is shaped like what a salt box looked like. That's why they call that a salt box.
Yeah. So, that's a very, very old shape. And then you like those weird shapes, the one that look like a barn. The Cape Cod looking things.
Oh, I grew up in Cape Cods. But
it looks like this.
I grew up 40 minutes from the Cape, and I lived in a Cape Cod. So Cape Cods are just kind of something that I really like. But I also like a lot of old Victorians.
What's funny is that I'm a direct descendant of someone who established the town of Eastham on Cape Cod, and I don't like them.
Well, you didn't grow up there.
No, I still don't like them.
You were born in Atlanta.
I still don't like them, though.
Your family established a town that I grew up 45 minutes from.
Still don't like them.
Yeah. Well,
nope. I definitely love the nice Victorian homes with the expansive patios where they, love the outdoors and the air.
I love an early 20th century Tudor. Like the early 1910, 1920 Tudors, like Morningside, where you've got the plastered walls and the picture rail. Those are gorgeous homes.
1910, I mean, that's when they were built, but they're modeled after 1500s, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Tudor design goes back to
14, 15?
I don't know when that started. I mean,
I don't know English history.
It's all German design, isn't it? Kind of Tudors?
The Tudors, the English Tudor.
Is it English design? Yeah, it is English. What's the German one? I forget, but it's all of Helen looks like it.
Like Alpine?
Yeah, like an Alpine.
That's not a common build in Georgia, though.
No, it's not. Unless you live in Helen, Georgia, and then it's very common.
I'd say it's a Helen thing.
All right, so if you have questions about how to keep your pipes from bursting, go to selectrealty.com, 2 L's in Select. In the search bar, search frozen pipes. You're going to find numerous articles on tips and tricks to keep your house from flooding. Because the last thing you want to do is deal with water coming out of your house when the temperatures are less than freezing.
It's pretty horrifying because you got to melt all of it too.
It does so much damage. And it's cold to deal with, and you get cold and you get wet and all your stuff is ruined. Just go to a hotel. All right. So we've got some community events coming up. Yeah. Céline, what's happening?
So every year, Marietta has a Shamrock Shuffle. It is a 5K. This is the 10th year that it's happened. And it's a good excuse to get moving before spring, because I know that I've been sitting on my butt all winter. So
I haven't. I've been hitting the gym, doing the pre-workout.
Yeah, no,
Protein.
I get tired after making dinner, because we've been making more of a push to actually cook from scratch, and, no preservatives and stuff like that. But it takes time.
Name of the game is health in our family right now. Like, we're focused on it.
But it takes time. So, yeah, that's about all that I do in the afternoon.
But if you wanna get out and get moving, so the Marietta Shamrock Shuffle 5K is having the 10th anniversary run. We'll have a link to that in the show notes. And Special Olympics Georgia, they've got something coming up. What's going on there?
We have a polar plunge, but I don't know how polar it's going to be.
Well, it's going to be on February 21st in Lake Ackworth, so I can't imagine it's going to be warm.
It probably won't be warm, but is it polar? Right? Like, because when I think of polar, I think of Alaska, Greenland.
Like jumping into a glacial stream right there? Like, that, you consider that polar?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, if there's an iceberg floating by, that's polar to me.
I don't think there's going to be any icebergs in Lake Ackworth, but...
That's what I thought.
The only way to find out is to show up, though. So that's going to be Saturday, February 21st from 9:30 to 1.
But you got to pay $50 to get into this unknown temperature water. And
it's a $50 minimum to plunge.
I'm sorry,
this is a fundraiser, so this is for Special Olympics Georgia.
Yes, you can support 22,000 athletes statewide, and it is hosted by the Law Enforcement Torch Run. And if you don't have $50 minimum to plunge, I do have a hose that I can spray you with out front. So just let me know.
Yeah, sounds great. I think that we should totally do that. We also have the Dancing with the Stars of Marietta coming up.
I'm excited about this.
At the Earl and Rachel Smith Strand Theater on Saturday, February 7th. So this weekend, tickets range from $30 to $50, and the People's Choice voting equals donations.
The Metro Dance Theater. Is this the one across the street on the square? There is a dance studio there.
There is a dance studio. I don't know where. Let's look this up. Let's see.
Regardless, I wonder if they're going to come out like... it's got to look like Dancing with the Stars, the show, right? So everyone has a theme for the night, and then you come out with your own costume and your dance that you've picked, and they're all different, right? Some fast-paced, some slow-paced.
Yeah. Well, I've never been. I'd like to see if we can make some time to go to this, because everybody in Kiwanis has been hyping this up.
Really?
This is a huge event. We've got a lot going on this weekend, but yes. And so the Georgia Metro Dance Theater, I'm on their website right now. Where are they located? Contact us. Yes, it is the one. It's on West Park Square in Marietta.
They have the cutest little tutus up in their window and everything. It's such a small town vibe when you go by it. Thank you for making those, because I really love them.
Oh, you do point those out every time. You're like, oh, I want to look.
Aren't they adorable?
Totally.
These cute little tutus in the window.
All right, well, we got some news coming from Coca-Cola. Our hometown beverage company is introducing a new flavor, the Coca-Cola Cherry Float. And they're bringing back Diet Coke Cherry, so... Wait
a minute. Cherry float. A float is ice cream in it.
Yes. So, cherry and vanilla. So, vanilla ice cream.
Do you think the cans will have ice cream in it?
I think the can is going to have artificial flavoring of vanilla ice cream.
Oh, it's just the thought
with artificial flavoring of cherry.
It's the thought of the ice cream. Okay.
Yeah, it's a thought. It's like my protein powder. It's vanilla. Like it's vanilla milkshake flavored. But
it's your orange creamsicle flavor.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So Coca-Cola Cherry Float, and then I didn't know Diet Coke Cherry went away.
So
that's all right.
I vaguely remember that from childhood. So if you're 40 years or older, then you probably remember that. Maybe.
Have you ever wondered what the difference is between zero and diet?
It's aspartame or like some other sweetener, I think.
It's like aspartame versus sucralose, right?
I don't drink a lot of soda anymore.
Well, I don't remember the last time I did either, but I do believe that it's aspartame versus something else that is not a sugar, but it's sweetener. It's a different type of sweetener, and that's why they're different. And the fact that they made Coke Zero, it was because Diet Coke was so different tasting from the original Coke.
It tastes like chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll have like 1, 2, or 3 sodas a week. It just depending upon the mood. But usually, like, I don't buy soda. It's my son tax. So whenever I go over to Mom's house, because she buys soda for the kids.
That's where you're getting it from?
I'll go in and I'll swipe a soda and I'll say,
it's not at our house.
Son tax. Like, I went over and I built something for her the other day, or I was up in the HVAC looking at the filter.
Your mother is supplying you?
Yeah.
Loretta, if you're listening.
Well, James likes to go over to get a soda too, because he knows the sodas are there.
Oh.
But
and not at our house.
He knows that if he goes, I make him go inside and say hi and to, be a good guest and not to take advantage of people. So we're at that stage. So sometimes he's like, yeah. Sometimes he's like, no. He's just not in the mood to go and
foregoing the soda.
Yeah, he will. So, I mean, I guess.
But Coke is such a integral part of our community. I mean, it's kind of strange to say that a retail item is, but when it becomes this worldwide and this iconic, you can't help but have that tie. Yeah. For example, because we're in the state of Georgia, they have different brands and products throughout the world, right? Mm-hmm. If you go to the World of Coke, which I would recommend only going once.
You only need to go once.
Yeah. Or save it for when you have guests so that you are actually entertained as well when you go.
Yeah.
But there are different products that you can see that are sold from around the world. And last time I was in Japan, it reminded me because they have Georgia coffee everywhere. Mm-hmm. And whenever I say that I'm from Atlanta, they're like, huh? A lot of people get it. But when I say Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, they go, oh, like the coffee.
Yeah.
It's made by Coca-Cola Company.
Of course it is.
Yeah, we don't have it here, though. So we have no idea what this Georgia coffee is, but it's delicious, I promise you.
Fun fact, if you want to try it, you can go to Tesso Grocery on Pleasant Hill Road.
They have it?
And they have Georgia coffee in there. They have UCC coffee. I think they have Georgia coffee. But it's all canned. So they're all canned cold coffees that you can drink. And really good.
You can heat it up, too. You know that the vending machines in Japan are cold and hot.
Well,
split in the same machine.
Yeah, they are.
How nice.
And, well, speaking of some warm treats, I know a lot of people are looking forward to some changing weather and getting some of this cold behind us. And as part of that, we're going to be doing some planting around the house. So, Céline, with the cold weather coming up, when should people be planting? Because this is a question that gets asked every year, and every year I'm going to see posts of people saying, I planted this and it died.
I will say it over and over again, and my friends will too, because we're all from Georgia. Wait until Easter. Don't do it. Don't touch it. Just look outside, okay? And then dream of that day after Easter that you can plant your tomatoes, because I guarantee you it will freeze.
Yes.
And then you will have frozen tomatoes.
You want to wait until after the last frost, which usually is right around Easter. So you're targeting early to mid-April. Watch the weather. If you think that we're going to be down into the 30s, over the next few days, don't do it just yet. But you don't want to rush your tomatoes or your peppers.
I haven't had a single year where that piece of advice does not hold true.
Yeah.
Every year. And every year, because I'll admit I'm stubborn, a few years I did try to outsmart Mother Nature, and I did plant tomatoes earlier, and
failed.
Yeah, I told you so to myself,
Yeah, so if you've got the itch and you want to get out and work on, if we get a warm afternoon, here's what you could do. You could start prepping your soil.
Yeah.
But we're not going to plant yet. So, Céline, what are some things that you usually do when you're prepping the soil?
Well, it really depends on what kind of planting you want to do, because they're all different types, right? You've got greenhouse, you've got trellis gardening, you've got box gardening, a raised planter, you've got regular in the dirt with the hill type, the strawberries.
Yeah.
So it really depends. And it also depends on the seed too. Did you know that some of them you have to start indoors? And then you have to harden them, and then you have to take them outside?
Originally, I didn't know that. I did learn that through living with you.
Okay. Well, these things are actually a lot more temperamental than you think. And that's why you see some farmers, you know how they have these giant tractor type of machines, and then you see these little seedlings being planted one by one. After those are the types where you got to start it somewhere else, and then you can plant it when it's a little bit bigger, like maybe toddler size.
And that's why they
I feel
call
like I'm
it
explaining Groot.
That's why they call it a nursery, right? It's because you got to raise the little baby plants.
Is it all clicking now?
It kind of clicks sometimes.
They're baby plants and baby vegetables.
Yeah,
I like to eat baby vegetables.
So if you have a little plant nursery, I wonder if there's any nurseries out there that just play like nursery rhymes to the plants. Be like, welcome to our nursery, and it's like child themed, but there's plants. There you go. Hey, pikes. There's your marketing idea for the next go around.
Is that the cart's going to be shaped like buggies?
So totally. You should totally have like a little stroller for your plants, like a pram. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that audio. Oh, that's going off in my ears. Okay, so you don't plant yet. Prep your soil for whatever you're going to be doing, but there are some things that you can do around the house. So if you're eager to get out and just kind of get your house kind of springtime ready on a nice day, here I've got 10 things that we can do.
They're not all safe though.
They're not all safe. Risk your life as you see fit and hire professionals where you don't. But you can start by cleaning your gutters and your downspouts. We just saw our neighbor up on their roof the other day with a leaf blower, getting all the pine straw off and, just keeping their house in tip-top shape. You can inspect your roof shingles and flashing. If you don't want to get up there, roofing companies will do that for free.
Yes, and flashing is, if you've never been up on your roof and seen this or inspection reports, it's that metal piece that goes in between the gap.
It is. It goes between the siding and your roof, and it makes sure that if any water slips off to the side, it's not going underneath the siding and into your house. So flashing is a way that you divert water. We actually have to have some flashing fixed at the house in Ellijay because we have water that wasn't properly flashed and it's doing a little bit of damage. So inspect your roof and shingles and flashing. Trim trees away from your roof and your power lines. If you have overhead power lines, you've got to keep those trimmed back. If you don't, the power company will eventually come and do it for you, and they don't do as good of a job.
Oh, it's not pretty.
It's not pretty. They'll just hack.
It's like a little notch was just cut out of all of it.
Yep. And keeping keeping your roof line clear of limbs is a great way to prevent rodents from getting into your attic. So definitely keep those trees trimmed back from your roof and power lines. You want to check your exterior faucets and hose bibs. Check those older valves. Make sure that they're working properly because the gaskets in them will go out after about 15 or 20 years. So you want to make sure that your valves close. So when you do have to cut off water, it works and it cuts off to the right places. Service your HVAC before spring. If you get in there early, you're going to beat everybody else to the punch. So when it starts warming up, everybody who has the HVAC issues, they're all dealing with it all at once. So if you are either on a service plan or you just have an HVAC company that comes out a couple of times a year, have them out a little earlier this year so that you can get everything cleaned and tested and working. And you don't have to deal with the system failing later, especially if you have an older system. Keep them maintained. walk the property after a rain. Note any drainage issues that you're starting to see.
This is one of the first things that I want to do if I purchased a brand new house.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we bought, even not new, when we bought our house, we went there after a rain and we were walking around because the back was it was very tree cover. It was mossy. We had less grass in the backyard. And we wanted to see how that drainage worked and that all the water was going away from the house because they had previously put in a French drain in the driveway.
Oh, and that nice irrigation system that they put in that your dog ate.
Oh, it wasn't a nice irrigation system, and it didn't really work by the time we bought the house anyway. So that goes to number 8 on my list, which is test your irrigation zones before the peak season. Make sure if there's any of the those things can crack. The plastic can get brittle in the sprinklers, so test it, make sure it's working. And then refresh your mulch beds. So don't pile up against your siding, but make sure your beds are nice. It's a good time to get out there and do it. Power washing your walkways, siding, getting all that moss or algae growth off of there, keeping everything clean and safe because that growth can make slippery, it can make slips happen. And then you can do your spring maintenance checklist a little early. So if you've got the itch to get out there, go to selectrealty.com. You can search maintenance on your house and find a variety of articles for different household seasons and the maintenance that you should be doing at each time of year.
So quick fire question here.
Yeah.
Mulch or pine straw?
It doesn't. So either one works. If you have acidic ground already, you have pine trees around you, pine straw all day, because the soil's used to that. And it's cheap. But if you want something that's going to last a little bit longer, or if you don't have any acidity in your soil because you don't really have pine trees near your house, I would go the mulch option because the mulch is going to break down and be a nice dirt over time, whereas that pine straw, it's going to add the acidity into your ground. And if you don't have a lot there, you want to promote, different types of plants. You plant for what you're trying to accomplish with your landscaping. And, you can always talk to a landscape architect on that. And a lot of landscapers will come out and help you with it.
I remember there was rubber mulch a long time ago. How did that go after a few years?
Well, they were using that on like playgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they still sell it, but I think it's used more in commercial applications. I don't like the idea of just putting rubber in my yard. I feel like that's kind of, I know it's recycling because it was, a tire at one point in its life maybe, but
it was a fish.
It never,
a dinosaur at one point in its life.
To me, it never really looked appealing. It always looked artificial. So that food for thought. I mean, your personal preference, but I like in real estate. If you have to make a decision about what you're going to do to the house, make it as broadly appealing as possible. If you're doing detail work in a house, make it as ornate as possible, right? Your woodwork, your trim, that really makes a house valuable. But your decor should appeal to a mass market if you plan on selling. The last thing you want is a purple house with, red rubber mulch right outside. It's not going to have a mass market appeal.
Have you seen one before?
I have.
So talking about real estate and selling, so I've seen a little bit of a shift lately.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So let's kind of talk historical because we, in 2021, kind of after the pandemic, we saw this huge move into real estate, late 2020 into 21. Prices increased at a very fast rate. We had double-digit gains. I think
it was wild trying to keep up with the price.
Yeah, one year we had like a 12% appreciation. The second year it was like a 8% appreciation, and then we kind of hit the wall because rates went up. But over the last couple of years, so 23, 24, 25, our valuation has stayed relatively flat. So what this means, looking at the historical graph of like how prices have appreciated for the FMLS data, which goes back to 2013, if I draw a line on that chart, and I did, and I'll post it in the notes, but drawing a line on that chart from kind of the bottom of the low range to today, which is the bottom of the low range, it looks about accurate. Like it shoots up for a while, but then it kind of goes flat and comes back to the long-term trend line.
I called it what it looks like a whiplash.
Yeah.
Right? It goes down, and then because of it overcorrected, and then now it's back down to where the line is.
So based off of like the historical price appreciation, the values today are kind of where they should have been
if there was no whiplash.
If there was no COVID, like it just following that slow, steady appreciation. So the kind of the correction is in my opinion completed to where we are today. Now, is there going to be more change? Yes, there's always change. And this correction could overshoot, and we could watch values plummet to the lower side of the trend line. But where we are today is kind of where we should be in historical trends. So the growth that we had in 21, 22, 20, in halfway through 23, then we went flat, and now we're kind of back to where we should be. So inventory is rising right now. Demand is cooling. So we're still kind of in that phase where sellers are kind of struggling. Buyers have much more leverage today than they did 3 or 4 years ago. And sellers have to price and prep their homes correctly, because if you're not, it's just going to become a much harder sell. We've got some big things here that median prices are slightly down across all areas. So year over year, I think the FMLS data is median sales prices down just under 1%. So it's relatively flat, but still slightly down. Cherokee County sees a huge jump in inventory, 29.7% year over year. More homes for sale because slowing buyers. Cherokee is a fast-growing county, so they have a lot more growth and development happening there. But as the buyers have kind of slowed down, the inventory continues to rise. We're also seeing homes coming back on the market after the holidays, so more inventory for January, but we're not seeing those buyers there just yet for all those homes. Pending sales and closings are down sharply. Not many happened. And then our days on the market are stretching out significantly. So we're still not in a crash, but we're in a very different market than the last few years. Our average days on market are, depending upon county or area, it range from like 72 to 84. So it takes a while to sell. We're in the phase of the year where things are going to start speeding up. So into February, when we come back in early March, we're going to expect to see maybe some the inventory to kind of either go up or to kind of remain at the elevated level. But we're going to start seeing some more contracts on homes. We'll see more pending. We'll see more closings.
Well, we'll also have seasonality.
Exactly. So big picture here is that we're coming out of a very slow winter season. And a historic era in real estate. Yeah. I mean, we have kind of closed the door on, the whole 2009 to 2021 period where it was easy to get a house, or 2022. Historical low interest rates, great builds, quality homes, relatively minor recalls in the housing construction during that decade. We had the early Atlas Chalet shingles, and then there was a version of PEX that had some issues, but no real major building construction defects in that period as we were kind of dealing with the low interest rates. So it was like the golden age of real estate. But now Wall Street owns a lot of it, and interest rates are higher. Values have gone up, so it's just harder to get into that. The average age of your first-time home buyer right now is 40 years old. Yeah. So it's hard out there right now, and a lot of people are struggling.
Generational wealth, you know,
huge hit in generational wealth building.
That takes a lifetime.
Yeah. It does.
It's not even generational anymore. It's just...
Well, I mean, it used to be like 26 or 28 was your average age of a first-time home buyer. Now it's 40, so it has almost pushed back by a generation. We get another 5 or 6 years in there, and then you're at a generation.
Ooh.
So, always fun. Always fun. There's always something going on. But
you know what? The best time to buy real estate was yesterday, right?
The best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago.
Every
the
time.
Second best time to buy real estate is today. Why? Because you go from paying 100% interest of rent to paying, 5 or 6% interest of a mortgage. So at least you end up building something to pass down. It's a legacy effect. And if you can own a home, and even if that's all you leave behind, you have then left the next generation with an asset that is going to help propel them, if used wisely, to do more for the generations behind them. And I think that's all we want to do as parents.
Here's a bonus to all this. The more real estate you own, the more your name is on legal documents, and the easier it is for me to track you down as your descendant 200 years later.
Well, yeah. So if you own real estate, then people will be able to find you and know who you were.
And who you're married to and who your children were.
There you go. More documents for your future genealogy inclined people to find you.
They're going to blockchain that too.
Oh, probably. Eventually they'll be microchipping us all at birth. No, thank you.
No.
Well, with that thought, I think just a quick recap. We got a lot happening in the community. Go to selectrealty.com if you want to see the article around the show. Catch us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Leave us a review and share the show. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like and a subscribe. Ring the bell so you never miss an episode, and then let us leave a review on your favorite podcast platform so other people can find the show. We appreciate it. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. It's been fun.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.